Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will explain Phase 4 of the system. Phase 4 is divided into 3 parts: routes, defaults, and quotation. In this video, we will focus on Part 1, which is the routes section. To start, go to the left-hand side menu. Click on Quotation, then choose Routes from the Routes option. The Routes window will open. On the left-hand side, you will see the Search panel. From this panel, you can search for routes using included keywords, excluded keywords, bus service, starting city, overnight city, and route category. This allows you to quickly locate any predefined route in the system. To open any route, click the arrow button next to the route name. The route details will then open on the right-hand side of the screen, where you can review or edit all route information. Now let us create a route together. Our example route will be called Amman Full Day Visit, Amman Overnight. First, click on New and then enter the route name. In our example, enter Amman Full Day Visit, Amman Overnight. Next, select the starting city. Choose Amman. Then select the overnight city. Also choose Amman, because this route starts and ends in Amman. Next, choose the route category. This allows routes to be grouped into categories such as classical, religious, adventure, or cultural routes. These categories help users quickly locate routes when building quotations. You will also see the Alert Notes field. This field is used for internal notes only. For example, you may write something like, heavy traffic expected. These notes are visible to the internal team, but do not affect pricing or quotation output. You will also notice the route image section on the right side of the general page. This area allows you to assign a photo to the route. To add a photo, simply click on the No Image Available placeholder. A window will open. Click Upload, then choose the photo of the route from your computer. After selecting the image, click Open. Then click Use to assign this photo to the route. The selected image will now appear in the Route Image panel and will be saved as the default photo for this route. This image can later be used when presenting the route inside proposals and visual program layouts. Now, let us move to the Costing Triggers section. This section contains information that will indirectly influence the costing when this route is used later in quotations, as they help the system determine how certain services should be calculated. First, select the bus service. For our example, choose Full Day. This value later helps determine the transportation pricing logic in the Transportation tab based on the transportation company selected in the quotation. Next, choose the guide name. For example, English Guide. This tells the system which type of guide is usually assigned to this route. Later, when the route is imported into quotation, the system will use this information to calculate the guide service rate for that day. Now enter the extra hours. For our example, enter 1 hour. Extra hours are used in transportation calculations when the route duration exceeds the standard service period. Next, enter the kilometer value. For example, 200 kilometers. The kilometer value helps estimate transportation cost ranges when calculating route pricing. Below that, you will see 2 options, guide accommodation and driver accommodation. If the guide requires overnight accommodation, activate guide accommodation. If the driver requires accommodation, activate driver accommodation as well. When these options are activated and the route is used in the quotation, the system will automatically calculate the rates of the guide accommodation from the guide contract and the driver accommodation from the used transportation company rate contract and add them to the quotation. So overall, the Costing Triggers section does not directly define prices, but it provides important operational data that the system later uses to determine the cost of services when this route is used in quotations. Now let us move to the System Options section. This section controls how the route behaves inside the system interface. The first option is Default List. If activated, this route will appear on top of the search panel for quick access. This is useful for routes that are frequently used by the sales team. The second option is Hide from Search Panel. If this option is selected, the route will remain in the database but will not appear in the route's search panel in the quotation. Once everything is completed, click Save. Now move to the Description tab. This tab is used to add the route description. To add a description, click the green plus button. First, enter the short description. This is usually the heading or summary of the route. Next, enter the long description. This contains the full program description. Then select the language, for example, English. Then click Save. You can repeat the same process for other languages such as Spanish, Russian, or Chinese. The short description appears as the route title in the proposal. The long description appears as the program description in the quotation proposal. When the quotation language is selected, the system automatically pulls the correct route description based on the language saved here. If the selected language is not available, the system uses the default language instead. Next, open the Cities tab. This tab defines the cities included in the route. To add a city, click the green plus button. In our example, add Amman. If the route passes through multiple cities, you would add them here in the correct travel sequence. Cities can also be reordered by dragging them into the correct order. This tab is important because the system uses it to generate the route map in quotations. The cities entered here determine driving path, distances between cities, estimated travel duration. If the sequence is incorrect here, the map in the quotation will also be incorrect. Now move to the Local Guide tab. This tab assigns a local guide service to the route. To add a local guide, click on the green plus button, then choose a local guide. For example, Amman Local Guide. Then click Save. This tab does not define the guide price. It only assigns which local guide should be used. The price is calculated later in the quotation, based on the local guide setup and rate rules. Next, open the Visits tab. This tab defines the sightseeing visits included in the route. Click the green plus button. Add visits such as Amman full-day visit, then click Save. Their only purpose is to support the Sync Route to Visit function available in the bottom toolbar. When the Sync Route option is used, the system reads the visits defined in this tab and synchronizes the route structure based on those visits. Now open the Extras tab. This tab allows you to attach additional services to the route. To add an extra service, click the green plus button. Select a service, for example, visa fees, and mark it as extra, then click on Save. Then add another service such as water and mark it as optional, then click on Save. Services marked as extras in the route can be imported later in the quotation and will directly affect the pricing based on their pricing configuration, while services marked as optional will also be imported, but they will not affect the pricing and will be grouped in separate segment in quotation proposal. Now move to the Entrance Fees tab. This tab defines which sites require entrance tickets. To add default entrance, click the green plus button. Add Amman Citadel and Roman Theater, for example, then click Save. These defined entrances in the routes will be treated as a default values and can also be extracted later in the quotation. Next, open the Restaurants tab. This tab defines meal stops during the route. To add a restaurant, click the green plus button. Select a restaurant, for example, Jordan Restaurant, then choose the meal type, for example, lunch, and mark the lunch option. Then click Save. Later, when the route is used in a quotation, the user can extract these default values, and their prices will be applied to the quotation. So this tab links the restaurant to the route day. Now move to the Transportation Defaults tab. This tab defines the default vehicle based on a number of passengers. To add transportation default configuration, click the green plus button. Add the following example. For one passenger, choose a car with Jordan Transportation Company. Then, click Save. When the route is selected in the quotation, in the Transportation tab, the system will matches it to the highest applicable pax range defined in the quotation with the number of pax defined here and automatically selects the corresponding vehicle and transportation company for that pax range in that day. Finally, let us quickly review the toolbar options available at the bottom of the routes screen. New creates a new route from scratch. Save saves any changes made to the current route. Delete permanently deletes the selected route from the system. Be careful when using delete because the route cannot be restored once removed. Route Builder opens the Route Builder page to design or modify the route structure, including days, movements, and sequence. This option will be explained in detail in the third video of Part 1 in Phase 4. Sync Route synchronizes route data based on the visits defined in the Visits tab. When clicked, a pop-up window appears where the route name is already filled. You can choose between two options. Sync Current Route, which will synchronizes the current route only, overwriting the selected elements such as route name, cities, entrance fees, extras, restaurants, and route description based on the predefined visit information. And Sync All Routes option performs the same synchronization but applies the changes to all routes in the system. So please use this option carefully. Duplicate creates a copy of the current route, useful when building similar routes. Route on Map displays the route on an interactive map, showing the cities, distances, and estimated durations based on the cities defined in the Cities tab and their order. Images allows you to attach multiple images to the route, which will appear in the quotation proposal when using Layout 2. Refresh reloads the route data and discards any unsaved changes. This completes the explanation of the Routes section. In the next video, we will move to the Visits tab, where we will explain how visits are created and how they are used within the system. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.